NBA legends share the most epic off-the-court Larry Bird stories that we never heard before. Now, we've heard a lot on-court stories, but we rarely hear stories off the court about Larry Bird, and I'm excited to dive into this. Welcome to the Larry Bird Vault channel, where this is a new channel dedicated to you and I, Larry Bird fans, going on deeper dives. We're going to go into storytellings, games that he does, that he has played, which was like all the way from college down to his professional field, career. So that's what we'll be doing on this channel. If you're excited about that, hit that subscribe button. For those who especially know me for doing Larry Bird reactions, you're going to get the same quality, just even more on this channel. So yeah, hit that subscribe button. But yeah, let's go ahead and get straight to this one.
The corner shots and the one out at the top, really top the key, they're the shots that I like to take.
Oh,
3-point sniper.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought he was more of a wing side, man. But he like the top corner.
I like to take.
I mean, not top corner, but the top of the key.
I like to take.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to hear what he's saying, man.
Corner every pick. The corner shots and the one out at the top, really top the key.
Okay, yeah, he's corner shots, but then he said the one on top of the key. So those are two spots he likes. I know his go-to is the side, but the top key, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
They're the shots that I like to take.
3-point sniper, basketball IQ, tenacious player, man.
Larry Bird was one of the most terrifying competitors in the history of professional basketball.
Yes, sir. Definitely is. Oh, yeah. Look at him in Magic.
3 MVPs, a trash talker so ruthless that Hall of Famers still flinch, telling the stories decades later.
It's two. Bird, a runner. It's good.
Woo.
It was one of the biggest
runner shots
ever.
Bird, little fake down the lane.
That is the version of Bird that most people know. Off the court, Bird was exactly what he looked like. A guy from French Lick, Indiana, who happened to be the best basketball player on the planet and never once let that change who he was. He drank with locals after game winners. He pranked rookies. He made entire press conferences laugh with one-liners delivered completely deadpan. And he did all of it with the same effortless confidence that made him impossible to guard. This is the Larry Bird that his teammates and rivals saw when the cameras were off. And honestly, it might be the most entertaining version of him yet.
I want to see this because there's not. They always say this. It's not what you do in front of the cameras, but it's what you do off the cameras. That showing your character. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that he doesn't get enough prop as far as just being a human being. Let's go. Let's see what he said.
McHale spent 12 seasons as Larry Bird's teammate and closest on-court partner, a Hall of Famer in his own right with 3 championships and what most people still consider the most unguardable postgame in NBA history. He was there for all of it, every night, which means when McHale tells a Bird story, he is not recounting something he heard secondhand. And when asked about what his favorite Larry Bird story was, he shifts to an off-court story when their flights got delayed.
Best Larry Bird story.
I think the story that sums up Larry the best was back then when we flew commercial, we didn't fly private. We played in a Tuesday night game in Cleveland. And of course, we got up for the first flight out. We had a game on Wednesday night in New Jersey. Snowstorm hits Cleveland. We're at the airport at 7 in the morning. Flight's canceled at 7. It's canceled at 8. It's canceled at 9. It's canceled at 10. Canceled at 11, 12. We finally leave about 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon. We fly up to New Jersey. Now the storm has kind of moved into Jersey. And the bus driver says, well, I can't get to the hotel into the arena. I can only go to one place. Well, we had a game that night. We go to the arena. So we get to the arena, and I mean, we're dragging. And we're sitting around the locker room, and, and everybody's kind of, we're tired. And, and all of a sudden, the coach gives a little bit of a speech of, come on, man, guys, we're playing basketball. Let's get ready to go. And Larry stands up, and Larry says, a couple other few choice words, and he says, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to take it out on their rear ends. So I was like, oh, all right, so let's go. So we go on the floor. Elbert King sitting there, and Larry walks up to Elbert King and goes, don't take this butt whooping personally. I've been eating hot dogs all day. And then Albert King looks at him like, you've been eating hot dogs all day? What's that got to do with me? and we went out and just hammered them. I mean, we terrorized them, and that was Larry. There was no excuses. I mean, he just played, and I tell you, that was just his competitive nature. But a day when you fly all day and eat hot dogs in the airport, best thing was Albert's look on his face like, what hot dogs got to do with me?
Cedric Maxwell.
No, hey man, the humor, the funny moments, the times, man. Like he always looked at it as a way to win, to give him an opportunity to win. He was optimistic of, hey, I'm just gonna use this as motivation to show up and show out. And that's the difference between greatness and people who just do it as a profession. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was different.
Was Bird's teammate on the Celtics dynasty, a two-time champion, and the 1981 Finals MVP. And he says one of the wildest nights of his life happened off the court with Bird at a bar.
Larry, myself, and Kevin McHale went out one time. I'm trying to drink with Larry, who is a two-fisted drinker. So I drank until I couldn't drink anymore. We went to eat in a restaurant. And I remember feeling bad. And I put my head in the seat, and I said, oh man, I need some water. So I drank this big swallow of water, and what Larry had done was like put this whole little mini bottle of vodka in the water, and that just sent me over the edge. And it was just so funny to him that I went outside and I started feeding him.
One time, Bird gathered all the Celtics rookies at training camp, took them to dinner, and when they asked where to go out in Boston afterward, he pointed them straight to a place called the Ramrod, a club right across the street from the motel. The name alone should have been a warning, but the rookies followed the directions anyway, walked into a long line, and discovered it was a leather biker bar with not a single woman in sight. Back in their playing days, Bird and McHale went out after a game, got into a full physical altercation with a group of strangers at a bar, and then showed up to the airport the next morning to catch their flight to the next city, only to find one of the men they had fought the night before sitting on the same commercial plane. McHale told the story to Chandler Parsons years later and said the two of them just looked at each other and could not believe the odds.
McHale drafted me in Houston. He told me the craziest stories about him and Larry Bird. Like, and first of all, he thought the league was so soft, like he couldn't stand the NBA by the time he was there. And he told me that him and Larry Bird, they would go out, like they'd play a game, they'd win. They'd get into a bar. They got into like a bar fight one night, and then
with each other or strangers?
With strangers.
Okay.
And then the next day they go to their flight. It's a commercial flight. The guy they got on the fight with was on the plane. Oh, like, to the next city. I swear. I'm like,
did they run it back?
Run it again.
Yeah, run that back. Yeah.
Times where it was just crazy. I didn't believe it. It was nuts.
That's awesome.
And also, did he said that Larry Bird felt like people were soft back then that he was playing with? If I heard that correct, so my man's were really mentally tough. He welcomed the physicality of the game. He welcomed it. He looked for the challenge.
Oh, I can listen to that all the time.
Dan Shaughnessy was the Boston Celtics beat writer for the Boston Globe during Bird's entire run. The man who covered every game, every press conference, every championship, and spent more time around Bird professionally than almost any reporter alive. So, you know that Bird had to play a few tricks on him here and there.
I actually had a road rage incident with him. I was driving by Fenway Park, because he lived in Brookline, down at the end of Route 9 and back there where Hellenic College was. And I was getting near Fenway. I'm coming in on Park Drive, turning onto Boylston Street, and this giant Cadillac is being a real dick the way this car is driving. It was almost as if the car was trying to provoke me. I was flaring. And, all of a sudden I like roar up against this guy and I look over and it's him. He picked me out. He saw me. So he was messing with me in traffic. He loved that he got under my skin unknowing that it was him.
Ezra Edelman is an Emmy-winning documentary filmmaker who has spent his career sitting across from some of the most powerful, famous, and complicated figures in American sports. He made the O.J. Simpson documentary that won the Academy Award. He has interviewed presidents of leagues, convicted felons, Hall of Famers, and cultural icons. He is not a man who gets easily rattled by a subject. And then, he sat down to interview Larry Bird for the Magic and Bird documentary, and said it was the most intimidating experience of his entire professional life.
Yeah, I'm going to think about Larry Bird.
So like you were just nervous because you were in the presence of Larry Bird.
Well, like it was like, but it's like
he didn't like.
No, but it was like all things, which is like I was making a documentary about him and Magic, he had no interest in this.
Mhm.
It was
Oh.
like he was basically the last person to get the interview. It was like, oh, he's got to wait. We have to go to the end. Wait to the end of the season. And he's like this mythical figure of like. I think there was a point where like I showed up. He was like, you can come and like go to French Lick and go like talk to someone. He's like, you can talk to my brother. I might have even literally been in his presence in an elevator like 3 months before, and I was like too afraid to say anything. It was just like so he comes in, and you've been around him. I forgot we're talking about your uncle. And he's ginormous.
Yeah.
And he already, by
Really
the way,
tall,
he's someone, this was happening, this must have been 2009, I was interviewing him. And he doesn't talk about himself. He's really never really talked. And so the whole thing is like, you have one guy over there who won't shut the up. And then another guy, it's like, that's part of the story. And he just sits down and it was like, it actually was informative in some ways of how to do interviews because I had a finite amount of time with him. And he sits down, he just is like,
Get to it.
and then it's like, okay. And I remember just like even beforehand being like, I got to remember every single thing. I can't like do. And he's so intimidating because he's not going to sit there and smile and make you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And that was easily. And he was just like a lot of things. He's like, I don't know. I don't care. I don't want to answer that. I was like, cool. But in the end,
ambition right there.
Oh my god,
it worked out. I don't know. That was a very and he did talk more than I thought.
It did work out.
No,
No. And this what blows my mind. And we still got an amazing documentary from that. Oh my gosh. Like, dude, how terrifying. How much you feel like that you can't not mess up in this moment. Right? And Larry Bird, it's not like he was trying to be rude or anything. Like he's just always been like that from the get-go. He's not a very social person when it comes to being in front of cameras. He's just not. He's a good guy. He's very nice. He shows it. Like if you get to know him and you build trust, he shows that, right? But let me let him finish this.
That was a very and he did talk more than I thought.
It did work out.
No, he did talk more than I thought.
What all of these stories have in common is that none of them were performed for an audience. Bird was not trying to be funny. He was not trying to be charming or relatable or likable. He was just being himself. And himself happened to be one of the most naturally entertaining people who ever walked through an NBA locker room. That is the thing about Bird that people who only know the highlights miss entirely.
Why they do my man like that with that clip? Ankles got broken, man. And then he got up slowly. He knew Larry was gonna drain it. He knew it. I gotta play it back. It was one of my favorite crossover ankle breakers from Bird.
People who ever walked through an NBA locker room. That is the thing about Bird that people who only know the highlights miss entirely. The trash talk and the game winners were one layer. Underneath that was a man who genuinely did not care what anyone thought of him, who lived exactly the way he wanted to live, and who found the whole spectacle of being a professional sports superstar faintly ridiculous. He signed the biggest rookie contract in history and then ordered the cheapest thing on the menu. He won 3 championships and then went home to Indiana and acted like nothing happened. The players who were around him, the ones who ate hot dogs in airports with him and watched him feed animals in the middle of the night, they knew something the rest of the world was only getting glimpses of. That underneath the legend, underneath the trash talk, and the championships, and the MVPs, Larry Bird was just a guy from French Lick who happened to be great at basketball.
I'm sorry, I've been looking at the clips that play in the background. I'm like, man, this man was crossing over some people, man. He was breaking ankles. This looks horrible to the person that happened to. All right, look, man, if y'all enjoy, man, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Like I said, this is a brand new channel dedicated to Larry Bird, okay? I have a lot that's going to be going on this channel. You don't want to miss out because this channel is going to take off. Best believe. I'm putting a lot more energy into this. I'm very excited because I found people who are also passionate about basketball. And they're passionate about Larry Bird. So I just appreciate you guys for allowing me to be able to dive in and to experience this world with y'all, with Larry Bird and the magic within his game and Magic Johnson and all the greats. But of course, this channel right here is dedicated to Larry Bird. I will still have other content that I've done with basketball on my main channel, but I feel like it was enough to where I can really go deeper into the games and stuff. Y'all just show more love. That's basically what it is. I mean, that's basically what it is. Y'all showing more love. So, you know, I'm like, hey, and let's go ahead and do a second channel that's dedicated to Larry Bird and give y'all what y'all want. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace.